on now. Yeah, Bob. Come on now.
Yeah, Bob.
Yes, sir. Wait.
Come on, man. Yes, sir.
Wait, who?
Ski mask. Let's get a ski mask.
Big win.
Welcome in, Hawks fans, to another Believe in Hawks episode. It's your boy Bryce Lewis back at it again, and Hawks having one of the hugest, if not the hugest, upset of the NBA season so far, going into Boston down half their roster, down Trae Young, and defeating the Boston Celtics. Game-winning shot by Onyeka Okongwu with a tip-in with just a few seconds left. Hawks were able to hold on and get a big win, and the first win in the NBA Cup group stage. That started on Tuesday as well. So now they are 1-0 in the group stage in the NBA Cup, and if they win the next two games, they will secure their spot for a chance to play in Las Vegas and some meaningful basketball potentially on the way. But tonight was a night that is just all about multiple people who stepped up, but the biggest one of all, Dyson Daniels, the legend, continues to grow. A star is born as he steps up in Trae's absence with 28 big points tonight in a total team effort to be a healthy Boston Celtics team tonight, 117-116. We will recap everything, and I will give my thoughts on this game coming up for sure. But if this is your first time, or if you listened to the show before and you've been debating it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube and like the video. And also, if you're listening to audio, leave a rating, leave a review. Tell your friends about Believe in Hawks. Let them know there are Hawks podcasts out there that they can listen to. Put me in the podcast rotation with the other great Atlanta content creators we have in this community as well. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, Dyson Daniels leading the charge for the Hawks tonight in a game where easily this looked like a game that, okay, the Hawks know Trae Young. They're going to lose. They're just going to take the L. We'll move on. We'll be 4-8. We'll figure things out. We'll reconvene Friday against the Wizards in the second NBA Cup game and see where it happens. That did not happen tonight. Hawks came out tonight and got a huge victory for this team. And honestly, a victory that probably establishes confidence and a belief in this team. You know, obviously this season so far has been marred by injuries, by different things that have impacted what we have seen from this team. And, you know, still having injuries. We did get some positive injury news today that I will get into later in the video regarding Kobe Buffkin, Bogdanovich, and Vic Krejci. And Trae Young was not on that list, so my belief is Trae will probably be back Friday against the Wizards. Hawks in this game, no Trae Young, right? One of the biggest questions, how can they generate offense without Trae Young? First half, if we look at it, 29-point first quarter, 25-point second quarter, right? Boston had 30-plus in both their quarters. Second half was a complete reverse. Hawks 30 and 33 in the third and fourth quarters. Boston 26 and 25, and that was good enough to get them the victory. Hawks were able to ramp up the defense while also ramping up the offense. Boston tonight, you know what they're known for, the three-point shooting. They shot 40% from three, but they shot 45 threes tonight and had some key misses. And the thing is, they made shots down the stretch. Some big threes down the stretch. And the Hawks, one of the biggest things about tonight is they kept their composure. They never were deterred. And they continued to attack the paint, which is the weakness of this Boston Celtics team, especially without Kristaps Porzingis. And they were able to dominate that battle and win this game. Hawks shot 50% from the field, 31% from three. Free throw line, obviously still something left to be desired. There are 16 turnovers, but they created 20 Boston turnovers. 35 assists, team ball, Quin ball, as some people say, dominated on the boards, 45-34, 20 offensive rebounds to Boston 6. That just showed you a lot of second chance opportunities for this Hawks team, which is what you need to be able to take advantage of in this game, and they did. 16 steals, and you already know who led the charge there. Dyson Daniels, man, continues to be elite at stealing the ball, had 6 steals tonight. Just tells you the type of player he was tonight in this game. But overall, this this game really was a microcosm of the Hawks are 3-0. It feels like in games where half the roster is missing as Boston. When this team was losing players, they seemed to play their best against Boston. Now, obviously, last week was not that great, but the other common denominator is Trae played in that game. The last 3 games without Trae Young, as far as I remember, we are 3-0 against Boston. And I don't know if that's not Boston taking us seriously. I don't know what that is. But getting those wins are very important. Hawks also, if you're into spreads, had a 16.5 spread. And against the spread, 4th biggest outright upset. So if you're big into that, that would be good for you. Hawks were 30 plus 36 in the paint in this game, minus 24 at the 3-point line and 15 at the free throw line. But still 36 plus in the paint. That's where they make up for the 3-point battle and the free throw battle. Hawks centers tonight, 52 points. That is also including Larry Nance, who also had a huge game, especially from the 3-point line. All 3 bigs tonight, very, really, really, really good. Capello, 18, Okongwu with 15, and Nance with 19 in this game. And, you know, one thing that I really think this will benefit them is you've played a whole game with only 1 point guard. Even though Dyson played point guard, and that was something that you can clearly see they don't want to do, but he became a point guard tonight and really was able to take advantage of his matchup, attack the paint, score inside. But this gives you confidence playing without Trae. Because, again, we've seen in previous Hawks games, the Hawks have struggled at times when Trae was down on the floor. This is a game that makes you realize we could still play and play really, really well without him. And so now you just have to be able to do that when he's playing, and now you're set, and now that may lead to success for you as a squad. You know, and I mean, the fact that Quin tonight, and I have to give him his flowers for that, he pretty much, it's the same formula every time against Boston. You play rough and ragged defense, you try to take them off the 3-point line, and then you take advantage of your matchup in the paint, and you get boards. You're going to get second chance opportunities, and you're going to be able to score against them. These are games that Ayeka has to win. Clint has to give you something. And now you have another center in Larry Nance who can give you something not just in the paint, but outside of the paint. And the Hawks were able to take advantage of the night. There is a reason why Quin went with Larry Nance a lot at the 4 tonight. And some people are saying because of that, Larry Nance should probably be the 4, backup 4 moving forward. Like Quin mentioned, he deserves to be in the rotation. Make him the backup 4. He can stretch the floor. He's a stretch 4. He's shooting the 3-point ball at a high clip right now. To me, that's your 10-man rotation. Trae, Dyson, probably Hunter when he gets back, Jalen Johnson, Clint. And then your bench, Kobe or Keaton, whoever they want in that position, Bogey, Richiche, Larry Nance, Onyeka Okongwu. That is your 10. That is a very solid 10-man rotation right there. And so the fact that Quin went to this rotation tonight in terms of the bigs said, listen, let's double down on the paint scoring. Jalen, attack. Dyson, attack. Nance, hit threes. Okongwu, hit some shots. Clint, 18. If Clint give you 18 points, man, that's a huge plus. So the Hawks executed the game plan tonight, played the way they needed to play to win. And Boston didn't play up to their standard, especially in that first quarter. They were erratic and things of that nature, but a lot of that also had to do with the Hawks defense. Much better defensive performance overall than what we saw last week against this team. So just overall, man, just huge victory for the Hawks right now. And a great team effort tonight, man. Great team effort. Great coaching by Quin. Great rotations tonight. Trying to keep the guys fresh as much as he possibly could. Obviously, Dyson, 41 minutes tonight. You know, with the way he was, it makes sense. Jalen with 39, but next highest guy was King Walsh with 32, Okongwu with 31. Clint only played 17 minutes tonight. Think about that. He got 17 points in 18 minutes. So he was effective in the time he played, and that was big to give him that type of punch. But big win for the Hawks. Now let's get into the player performances. Like I said, Dyson Daniels, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 steals tonight. Dyson, new career high, set with 28 points, shot 57% from the field. He is second in most steals in his first 10 games with a team, behind Alvin Robertson, which was set by when he played for Milwaukee back in 1989 with 37. Dyson has 36. So that's obviously huge. Hawks had 18 more scoring possessions in this game. But Dyson also becomes the 4th player in NBA history to record 6 steals in 3 games. So, again, there's just not enough you can say about Dyson. And the thing about Dyson, we knew how much of a menace he was defensively. We know how impactful he is defensively. But he's also had some strong offensive games. And he's had a couple of stinkers. You know, that's part of the Dyson Daniels experience. He's not this elite offensive player. But the one thing that he has shown, especially through a performance like tonight, and he mentioned it too in the last previous games, he's been taking more shots. And he mentioned, I'm trying to take the pressure off Trey. Dyson is figuring out his shot profile. One thing when he played with the Pelicans, they were just basically like, defend. That's your job, defend the ball. And I don't know if Dyson was ever able to figure out his shot profile. Like we knew he had a floater. He seems to be able to score pretty well. Nice little lift shot going towards the rim. Has been working on the 3 ball. You know, still not great, but he can hit it. But he's learning his shot profile. He's learning in this game where, especially when he had the ball in his hands, he basically said, Drew Holiday, Derek White, I think I can drive on these guys. I can attack. He's a big, strong guy. I can bump. I can create separation, get a floater, get a layup. I mean, that's really how he got a majority of his points tonight. He just attacked Boston. Attack. And that in and of itself, because Boston does not have a true shot blocker, and for him to be able to take advantage of that led to him having the performance he had tonight, especially having to play, especially when he was playing from the point guard spot, is when he did his most damage. Made really good decisions tonight. He had 6 turnovers, and obviously, again, he probably hasn't been in a point guard role in practice. So, I mean, for him running the offense, maybe a little, some jankiness can happen sometimes. But overall, Dyson Daniels tonight, man, just gave you a heck of a performance and gave you an offensive lift that you needed. I mean, you needed someone in this game to step up. And obviously, a lot of people look at Jalen. And I'm sure Boston looked at Jalen and said, okay, we just got to stop Jalen, right? Nobody else really scares us offensively. But Dyson giving them the performance they got tonight was huge. He is going to get paid when the Hawks and him sit down for a contract at this rate. He is going to get paid by the Atlanta Hawks. These types of performances are probably making the Hawks say, Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, that's our backcourt. That's our backcourt for years to come. And the thing is, Dyson can only get better. This isn't the peak of Dyson Daniels. Dyson can only get better, especially offensively. So the fact you were able to find your starting 2 guard for potentially years to come in a trade for DeJounte Murray that a lot of people still like to say, well, Dyson was a throw-in, is crazy. And like I said, these are the type of performances, man, that just really build your confidence. It really makes you extremely confident about this team moving forward. It makes you extremely confident about Dyson in general as a player and what he can continue to grow into. So big performance for him, man. Really, really big for Dyson. Really happy for him tonight. So many Hawks fans love Dyson, man. He's a dog defensively. And boy, if he's able to do this offensively, man, watch out, man. Watch out for Dyson Daniels, man, for years to come, man. So big performance from him tonight. Jalen Johnson had a really good game to me. He is one of the few starters who was in the actual plus minus. Dyson actually had a -4 when he was on the floor. Jalen had a +4. 18 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. And this game was a game where I think when Quin talked about a few games ago where how Jalen can affect the game in different ways. This is one of those games. 18 points, okay. It was a decent offensive performance, but it wasn't something that blew you away. But 10 assists, obviously having to handle the ball more tonight. 4 turnovers, which is actually pretty good for a non-point guard, handling the ball as much as he has to, and 13 rebounds. One of the best rebounders in this game that we don't talk about. Attacking Boston multiple times, especially in that second half. I think he really attacked Boston. When he would get in the corner, he didn't settle for a lot of threes. He went after him, was able to create off of that or score, and that was really huge for him. Played some good defense. He was defending Jaylen Brown that last possession that they missed so the Hawks sealed it. And, Jalen Johnson, man, the biggest thing, like I've said, we want to see from Jalen is just consistency. I don't need you getting me 30 a night. It's great to give me 30, for sure, absolutely. But if you give me triple-doubles like this, then I have absolutely no reason to ever question your performance like you played tonight. Unless it was a game where you kind of got them early and then completely, had one of those games. But for the flow of the game, Jalen Johnson, really, really big tonight and just really important to what they were doing. And a part of that paint attack that really benefited the Hawks tonight. Quin Wallace, man. Listen, I've talked about Quin Wallace. Quin Wallace has been a godsend for this team. For him to be able to give them real NBA minutes while Trey is out, or like today when he's just not playing and he's getting his first NBA start. Listen, stat line won't impress you. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. Between Daniels, Jalen, and Wallace, they had 25 assists. 35 assists total for the team. 25 came between Daniels, Johnson, and Wallace. Wallace was able to make some really good plays with the ball in his hands. Only had 1 turnover tonight. And he didn't really have a good offensive game. But when it got to that fourth quarter and it got to that home stretch, Keaton Wallace hit some big shots. He hit a big 3. He hit a big floater. After Boston hit a shot, he hit a big, big floater. Just no fear. Knew he had to give him something, and he gave him something. That's what I always say. Just give me something. Keaton gave you something tonight. And he gave you great defense. Bruce Pritchard only had 6 points tonight. Sorry, I call him Bruce Pritchard. WB guy. Peyton Pritchard only had 6 points tonight. That boy, Wallace, was all over him. He was in his face, going over screens. He was making sure that Pritchard did not have space. And that was huge for Pritchard, because Pritchard's the guy who could also open up the game for Boston because he could just score 22. And Keaton Wallace and that entire Dyson, whoever was guarding him, did a great job. A fantastic job on Peyton Pritchard tonight. Fantastic job. And really the Hawks tonight, with Keaton and the defensive efforts we got from him, Jalen, and all them, outside of the main guys, White, Tatum, and Brown, no other Celtics player had more than 8 points. So they pretty much did this game plan to shut everybody else down, and they did, and they were able to get enough from their guys to win. Ricochet tonight actually had the highest plus minus on this team out of all the starters. And you look at his stat line, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Again, you don't look at it and think, man, he had a great game. He missed some shots, missed some layups, whatever, right? But again, impacting the game in different ways. Had 3 steals, created 3 turnovers. Like I said, 8 points, 9 rebounds, active on the boards, a part of the paint attack. And listen, that sometimes, like I said, one thing I think that the Hawks want from their players is if you don't have scoring, well, how can you impact the game in different ways? I think that is a very key question for many teams in this league, because sometimes we value scoring like it's the end all be all. You give me 20, I'm happy. But if you ain't scoring, how can you impact the game? How can you change the game? Ricochet, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, impacting it defensively and on the boards. Also stepping up to the challenge, guarding the Boston Celtics. I mean, listen, Ricochet, again, we're going to be hopeful that the shot will come like it did against the Knicks. But the way he's able to still do different things, even when the shot isn't following, is extremely impressive for a guy who's 19 years old and still just learning this game. Clint Capella, like I mentioned, 17 minutes, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Almost had a double-double in that amount of time. They were minus 11 with him on the floor, which is the highest negative out of the starters. But you could still feel his rebounding, got up some offensive boards. Like I said, the 18 points is huge because, again, he is probably the weakest offensive center we have. And the fact that he was able to be the second leading scorer of the centers was big time. A part of the paint attack, really did a really good job with them. Like I said, the entire center group as a whole had 52 points tonight. 52 points, 22 of 32, and 5 of 10 from 3. Okongwu, obviously, Boston games are Okongwu games. Okongwu, last time they played Boston, had 18 and 10. Tonight, he had 15 and 6 with 2 assists as well. These are Yucca's games. These are the games he closes because he has an advantage on Boston. Multiple times, the Hawks got switches. Okongwu on White, Okongwu on Drew Holiday. Someone small, and the Hawks attacked it every time. Discipline to the game plan, discipline to the mismatch, kept attacking it. Ayeka kept being aggressive and attacking it and was awarded with 15 points tonight. Big performance for Onyeka Okongwu for him to be able to give him that ability to say, hey, we have a mismatch. Okongwu, we need to be aggressive offensively. And Larry Nance, man, he just not enough to say about Larry Nance. 5 of 6 from 3. That 3 ball for him has been falling. 7 of 10, a part of, again, the paint attack. Also, Okongwu had the highest plus minus on the entire team with 15 plus. But, I mean, Larry Nance, man. Like I said, I even said before the season, I would not mind seeing Larry Nance's backup four. If he can give you this type of production, there's no reason why he should not play. To me. Like, obviously, we'll see what Quin does when everybody gets back, but he's been playing Nance at the 4 recently in these last couple of games, and it's been having some success for this team. So I really, really would like to think that he would go with that. And remember, that's the lineup he closed with tonight. He closed with Nance on the floor. I think that's the first time this season I think that they closed with Nance. I could be wrong, but I mean, again, that just shows the confidence he had in Larry Nance. And again, he gave you 19 points tonight. Why wouldn't you close with him? Technically, in those situations, Nance is a threat. Nance is a good connector of the offense, and he's a threat at the three-point line. So, guy who, to me, brings a lot to the table. And like I said, the setters tonight were huge in a game where you knew their mismatch, you needed to attack their mismatch, and you were able to get your advantage on the Boston Celtics. And then Garrison played 23 tonight. Really didn't do anything crazy. Had 2 free throws tonight. 5 assists, though. Ball handling. Playmaking. And Devin Rodney only had 5 points tonight. Effectively, probably out of the rotation. Hawks essentially went with an 8-man rotation tonight. I mean, Rodney just, especially in the game against Boston, he's just not a great matchup. If he's not giving you, a bunch of points, he's a liability defensively. And I think the Hawks were just like, Nance is giving us, even though Nance isn't a great defender either, the way the team flows and how and other things he can provide is just more effective for him than what Rodney can bring. And maybe it was just this game, but I think that may be the decision moving forward. But listen, just great stuff, man. Great stuff by the Hawks tonight. Great stuff to win a game that you were expected to lose, a game that you were expected to just quit. First game in the NBA Cup, everything, and coming out, beating the defending champions on their home floor, down half your roster. Can't do enough to say I commend those guys for doing a fantastic job. Great game plan by Quin. Great adjustments by Quin to get the job done. I told you at the beginning of this, first half, Boston won quarters 1 and 2. Second half, Hawks won quarters 3 and 4. And they ended up winning the ball game. But now we got some injury updates, some positive news coming out to add on to this great victory. So originally with Bogdan Bogdanovic and Kobe Buffkin, they were originally set to be reevaluated in 4 weeks when they were hurt about 2 weeks ago, right? Or when an injury report came out 2 weeks ago. So today, the Atlanta Hawks gave a healthcare update. Bogey is said to be progressing through his rehab. It will be reevaluated in approximately 1 week. Kobe Buffkin also will be reevaluated in approximately 1 week. Again, reevaluation does not mean that in 1 week they will be good to go, but it could also mean they could be good to go. So they could be coming back sooner than expected. Because originally they were going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks based off the timeline that was given to us before. Vic Krejci was supposed to be reevaluated this week, but they're saying he will also be reevaluated next week. They could just be doing that just to say we'll give him another week and then we'll just try to get them all at. So, and then Seth Lundy also will be out for another 4 weeks as well. So, I mean, you know, still exciting victory tonight, man. But good news there from the injury front for the Hawks to get that news. Hawks could be at full strength by the end of this month. And then we will now see fully what this Atlanta Hawks team can do, what this team can be, what the version of the team that they think they can be will be. And Quin will get all his pieces back, and we will see what that looks like. Through all the judgments about this team being made and everything under the sun, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and now we just have to get there. Hawks get their second NBA Cup game against the Wizards, a game that they need to win, obviously just so the Wizards don't go 3-0 in the season series, but also because you win that game, you go 2-0 in the NBA Cup, and I believe they play Chicago in the next one that next Friday. And then in that situation, the Hawks would then be able to clinch a spot out of the group stage and be playing potentially to go to Las Vegas. So really, really big for this team tonight. Dyson Daniels, a star is born, balled out tonight, played at a high level. The paint attack, the three centers playing the game of their lives. Great team basketball across the board tonight. Give your thoughts down below in the comments what you thought about this victory. What did you take away from this game for the Atlanta Hawks tonight? Love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. And obviously, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Bryce_2K, to keep up with me and everything that goes on there. Live tweeting the games when I can. Obviously, again, watch this on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Audio, leave a rating and review. 5 stars. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the love and support for real, though. But I think that's about all we got here for the Believe in Hawks podcast. Hawks win tonight over the Boston Celtics, 117-116 in Boston. And now the season continues to move forward. It's your boy, Bryce Lewis. See you next time.
They've just got to play 6 seconds of defense and get out of here with a stunning win.